Everyone is doing quite well. And it seems to be everything is working. Welcome, Tally and Hippie the Hills. Everyone is here today. Rusty, Charlie, you're here. Good morning to you too, my friend. Wow. Egan from Florida. Jared Allen, how are you doing? It seems that everything is running fine. Yes. And Jennifer, our lovely mod in Periscope, is ready, cracking knuckles and swinging her baseball bat, looking for a little action. Guys, and good morning to you, Jaron. I have some sad news. Well, it's not so sad. It's not so bad for Lisa. So one of our regulars, Lisa, who shows up on the Insta every day, she had wrote me yesterday to let me know that she is finally getting back to work after all these weeks. So she's not going to be able to join us on our morning coffee breaks, but she will catch us on the replay. So, but good for her. She's excited to get back to work. Her job has allowed her to stay home and had taken care of her while she did. So she was excited to get back to work and just have some normalcy. Lisa Atkins, how are you doing? All right. And Jennifer, how are you over in Periscope land? How are you today? All right. Lots to talk about. I have some questions, and I also wanted to chat about what to do if you find yourself in a PIP. Now, if you guys remember yesterday, we discussed what a PIP was. A PIP is a personal improvement plan, which a lot of corporate companies will put their employees in when they want to coach them. And when I say coach them, when they want to coach them out the door. Jason 1980 says, you guys really changed my life 5 years ago. Well, thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. And thank you for letting us know. That's the kind of stuff that fires us up every day. Now, back to this PIP business. If you find yourself in a personal improvement plan, you see your corporation that you're working for, they want to give you some coaching. And we talked about how that's code word for you being coached out the door. Why? Because we now live in a society where everyone is terrified of being offended, terrified of being put on blast, terrified from being sued, terrified for having a drama and disruption to them making money. So because of all of this fear, we have HR departments that have ways. We have HR departments who have ways to mitigate the hurt and the damage that would cause if they actually fired you. You see, they don't fire people anymore. They put them in PIP. They get them coaching. Coaching is like, so they can say, well, listen, we've done a lot for you here, and it just seems that there's no place in our facility for your position anymore. So therefore, you've been downsized out. But, we have done a lot for you. So take it with you into your next job. Absolutely, Tally. That is exactly why. Unemployment, being sued. Here's another one for you. And if you guys, for those of you who work in corporate, you understand this. For those of you who are just listening to this, you might be saying that's just not true. Corporations don't do that. There's no firing anymore. There's just downsizing or reconfiguring the company, or that your position is no longer needed. It is the cheap way, Charlie. Jennifer says she's given herself a PIP today. So So one of my corporate CEO clients, who is the CEO and who has been a CEO of a major, large, very brand name corporation, had came to the Art of Charm because he had, after 30 some years of doing this job, has realized that in his age, he wanted to start connecting better and wanted to start behaving differently in the company, as he had felt that he had been cold to most of his employees and boardroom for most of his life, and was looking as he had gotten older, to lighten up and to build some relationships. And we were doing some role plays, and with Art of Charm, with our executive clients, we hang out a lot. We do some role plays, and we work through lots of different scenarios to see where your understanding is and where we can coach up or boost emotional intelligence and develop some skills that perhaps were dormant up to a certain place. Because, well, if those who rest, right? Use it or lose it. If you're not using certain traits, skills, and focusing on development, those things are just going to atrophy. That's just normal. That's just how life is. So anyway, we were doing some role plays and we were having a lot of fun with it. And we had talked about a certain role play where a troubled employee was having to talk with their boss, and we were playing the troubled employee. And as we were working through the role play, it was apparent to me that one of the things that kept him from developing these relationships with his boardroom and some of the employees is that he had a wall that was pushed between him and his employees that kept him from developing a relationship that was any more outside a professional business relationship, because his fear was the drama or the hearsay and the speculative behavior that people would place on that relationship, and to have anything that would roll into that he could get sued for. I mean, that was so well pressed into his mind and his behaviors that it had stunted everything else in his relationships at work. And of course, because he was working on that fun-loving personality and trying to draw it out more so that he was able to connect with his employees, that same wall, because it was so important to him to keep together while at work, also came home with him with his family and found it difficult to relax and be in a playful spirit. So we need to think about these things, because if you're developing these systems to protect yourself, it's not so easy to just turn them off when you go home. It's not so easy to flip a switch in order to do some of these things. These are traits and skills that you have to build. There's no just, you can learn to turn them on and off, but it is incredibly difficult, especially when you're trying to use them like a pair of stilts. You got to learn to hang your hat at the door when you get home. Well, you certainly do, but it's difficult when you're looking to build new behaviors. What is the message about PIP? Charlie asked. Well, I'm getting to that, Charlie. So it is very difficult to build these skills and to be able to turn them off. And what my point in making this is, even in highly coveted roles, even as a CEO. The idea of fear and causing waves and being sued and unemployment is a major concern and at the forefront of everybody's mind. So that even on a level of, if you find yourself in PIP, if you find yourself in a personal improvement plan, understand several things. Number one, that you are on your way out. Number two, that you are not a good fit for wherever you were. And three, there are two things that you need to look out for. What are the skills that you were lacking in order to be a better fit for the team, for the next corporation or the next job that you find you're in? Or also, if you were not a good fit, why? And what is the culture that would allow you to fit in a better situation when it comes to a corporation? A lot of things. Little Charlie wants answers. Charlie always wants answers. Jennifer's giving you a hard time, Charlie. You're lucky you're not on Periscope. Now, let's talk about culture. So let's go through a few steps of what you can do if you find yourself in PIP. Now, if it is a culture fit, a lot of people think that if they just get this job that they're going to be set up. Oh, well, I really went for Google, and I know that if I get hired, I am set for life, and I will be in a place where I want to be. Really? Do you have the temperament to fit in with the culture at said Google? Corporations, much like societies, and it is in a communal society, has communal truths. It has communal ideas. And if you do not fit in with those ideals, then culturally, you are not a good fit. And here's the thing that everyone needs to understand. You cannot just bend yourself to fit in with a certain culture because it is a temperament. If that temperament does not suit you, you are going to be incredibly disappointed and frustrated in your job. Why? Because you are not built for the ideals of the space that you're in. For instance, let's say that you are in a job that is hierarchical and there's a pyramid at the top. As you climb up the ladder, it gets narrower and narrower at the top of the pyramid, which means there's less room, which means it's going to be incredibly competitive. If you're not built for that, and some people are, some people love to be in an environment that is competitive. They thrive on it. It gets them off. They're warriors at heart. If you're more of a creative and a collaborator, that is not a position that you want to find yourself in. Therefore, you will find yourself in PIP. Why? Because they're coaching you out. You're not a good fit. You should be interviewing the establishment as much as the establishment is interviewing you. This is going to be important to understand whether you're a good fit or not. Now, on the other side of the coin, there is, are your skills? Lisa says, hello, entrepreneurial life. Yes, absolutely. I couldn't work in that environment. I'm too much of a creative. This is why entrepreneurship and all of its warts is a better suited position for myself. Now, here's the other side. Let's say that you find yourself in PIP and you were in the right place. You did fit the culture, but for whatever reason, you weren't able to make the most of your situation. Now, what can you learn in this situation for you to be better? Number one, take the class and learn everything that you possibly can and find in what areas you might be weak. Because here's the thing about it. Your friends are not going to be honest with you. And they're not to say that they can't be, but you're going to have to do your own self-analysis. Now, I put together a 3-video series on that. You can find the archive on YouTube. It's self-analysis part 1, 2, and 3. And it's on YouTube. And I put it together just a couple weeks ago here. And I don't have time to go over that again. However, watch the rules of self-analysis, because this will give you a hand in being able to find where weak areas are and where you can improve. Now, let's just go talk about a couple areas that you could be easily seeing that you can improve. If you look around the room to your peers, to the people you are working with, are they putting up numbers that you are not reaching? And if so, what is the rationalization that you told yourself that you don't have to hit those numbers, but they do? Oh, yeah. If you found yourself comfortable and you're sitting in PIP and you don't know why, then you have made some rationalizations that have blinded you to what you should be doing. So now, if you've hit those numbers, then we can excuse that one. How is your camaraderie with your teammates? How's your relationship? Have you built relationships? Are you the odd man out? Are people getting together for drinks or dinner or having conversations that you find yourself not being a part of? Are they having after work activities or meetups for drinks that you have not gone to or have not been invited to? Now, one of the things, I have met many people who have found themselves in PIP. And I will tell you, there's a lot of people who find themselves in PIP who come to the Art of Charm afterwards because they're trying to figure out what is the issue, or the issue is, hey, and I've heard this so many times, which is, I've always been a little bit introverted. I've always been a little bit reserved. And now I find myself having issues at work because of that trait. And I'd like to open up a little bit more. It is a very easy thing to do. But it takes practice and it takes time. And this is why it's important to find if you're a good fit, because either A, you're a good fit and you're going to excel in this job, or you're going to have to build skills that you're weak in to allow you to get better, to solidify yourself so that you feel safe in your job. You cannot perform well if you're constantly looking over your back, hoping you don't find yourself in PIP. Lisa says, this goes for entrepreneurs too, in relation with customers and clients. Absolutely. And let me talk about that really quickly, Lisa. So many people, introverted or disagreeable people, tend to find themselves in entrepreneurship because they feel that, oh, I'm just going to work for myself now. Therefore, I don't need to build these relationship skills. Well, I can tell you everything that you're going to need to do and to build your company and reach certain levels, even as a solo entrepreneur, you're going to have to build relationships and you're going to have to manage those relationships. And you cannot just look at these relationships as disposable. Oh, well, things just didn't work out. I'll just block them. This incessant blocking of people that you don't get along with, or that who have a difference of opinion than you do, is putting you in a headspace of thinking that all relationships are disposable. No. And in entrepreneurship, your relationships are your lifeline. They allow you to build your business and to get referrals and to bring other people to the table who want to work with you. You don't build business relationships in the here and now. You build business relationships for what the relationship and the business that is tied to it can grow together. Charlie says, as long as you work with people, no matter what you do. Absolutely. Those relationships are dealt and built and managed for how those relationships will grow as the business grows. This idea that everything and relationships are so disposable is not going to help the longevity of your company and of your business. Tally says networking events are excellent to try out social building skills. Absolutely. That's a great place to build networking skills. And these skills are going to constantly need to be developed, and you're constantly going to get the better of them. Now, for those people in PIP, or for those of you who can admit to yourself and where your relationship building skills could use some work, well, I will tell you, here's what you do. Listen to all the toolboxes on the Art of Charm podcast, where we go in depth in every one of these aspects of building relationships in our podcasts, and work on those things. If you want something more pointed, check out the Art of Charm Communication Accelerator, which is all the best bits. And it has an option to join our network where we discuss those exact pieces on a daily basis with other people who are working to build these skills within themselves. What you don't do if you're in PIP is to sit on your butt, be mad at the company because of how they're treating you, and move into your next role without doing any growth, any growing, any maturation, any development. Because you're only going to find yourself in another PIP in 6 months. How many PIPs do you have to find yourself in before you realize you're going out the door? So with that, understand the culture, your temperament, so that you can fit into the corporation that you're working for, and understand that as long as you're growing and you're able to find weak points, that you can continue developing yourself so that you can slowly start growing into who you've always been meant to be. Without it, you're going to find yourself in another PIP. Now, can I just share, you guys? I want to share something with you guys. That's my PIP talk. So you guys send me. Oh, absolutely. Politics are always finding their way in. That's why your temperament and culture is so important. Now, you guys send me the coolest stuff, and I'm probably going to embarrass this person, and I hope she doesn't mind. But there's somebody who loves the morning show, and she writes children's books, and she has a children's book about these creatures. They're called yabbits. Yeah, but, and you see, here's the yabbits. Can you all see that? They're yabbits. And the yabbits are creatures, and the yabbit you see has only one use: to always be near and provide an excuse. So it's a children's book, and they're called yabbits. Yes, isn't that super cute, Jennifer? And it's to teach children about and to understand that's excuse. Yes, but so how many incredibly creative and intelligent people do we have watching this super rad show that all of us are are getting together on a daily basis and learning and having fun and dealing with the world around us? Yes, Lisa is. Yes, absolutely, Jennifer. And so when you guys send me that stuff, that makes me so incredibly happy to see so many people being creative, creating, putting out great works. And to you, my friend, if you're upset that I showed the habits, I'm sorry. I had to. So, but that goes to Kelly. Well, thank you I'm sorry, Katie. Thank you very much. Lisa says her daughter is sitting beside her and says that's so cool. Well, wonderful. Yes, absolutely. Oh, so next question I got from, I cannot remember that person's name at the moment. Sorry, guys, it's been a crazy morning, but I had gotten asked the question about how to start conversations in a cafe. Now, here's the thing about it. Everybody is a little bit uptight with the coronavirus. So everybody is a little bit more reserved than they have been in a very long time. However, if move that to the side, let's understand that everybody, as human beings, we're social creatures. We love to talk. We love to connect. And you need to be able to lead that. Pick something observational about the weather, about the day, about the environment, about how lovely the coffee smells. And you will be surprised in that fact of how many people are going to open up and they're going to want to connect. Tally says, I always ask for a pen. There you go. I can't argue with that one as well. But if you want to be more sociable, then you have to start practicing being more social. Once again, I go back to what I mentioned earlier, that it's too difficult to turn these skills off and on. You can practice them and you can become a little bit more talkative, more sociable than you have been, and understand that you will grow with that. And with practice, you will change and you will find yourself being more talkative. So with that, I'm going to end it. Thank you guys and the Yabbits and Katie and Jennifer and Lisa and Tali and Charlie, all you guys for joining today. We will give Lisa a farewell. I'm going to go through the comments here. You guys are awesome. Tally says water cooler rumors. Absolutely. Got to learn to hang your hat at the door. Yes, absolutely. All right. As long as you work with people, no matter what you do, well, absolutely. Networking events are great ways to places. Politics have infiltrated everything. And unfortunately, that is just where we are until that changes. Compliments are usually what I lead with. Absolutely. That's a wonderful way. And people will either light up because they're excited and they can accept it, or they'll find themselves getting a little bit smaller because sometimes compliments are hard to take. However, they can be hard to accept. Well, thank you, Jennifer. And you have a good day too. They can be hard to accept for a lot of people, but you can't take that personally. And just because you're ready to open up and connect with people doesn't make other people ready to open up and connect. And you have to let nature do its work. Some people are going to be more open to it than others. See, Tally gets nervous when she gets a compliment. I had to learn to accept compliments. All right, guys, I got to go. I have another meeting. You guys are awesome. Thank you all very much. The secret to being authentic is to try and connect with people. Absolutely. Christina says me too. Absolutely. It took me a while. Absolutely. Animal says bye. All right, guys, you all have a wonderful day. And if you love what we talked about today, you want to learn more, check out the Art of Charm Communication Accelerator. It is all the best bits from our online training and live training programs and the podcast and our guests. expert guests over the last 15 years. Jared Allen, later on, have a good day. Lisa, have a great day. And Jennifer and Charlie, you guys are awesome. Tali, and I will see you all tomorrow.